Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we're taking a look at defense in depth. So, defense in depth uses a layered approach to security rather than relying on a single perimeter. A defense in depth strategy uses a series of mechanisms to slow the advance of an attack. There are 7 layers of security that Microsoft wants you to know. It's kind of similar to the shared responsibility model. A lot of times we see these things when organizations or providers are talking about their security centers, like the actual data centers and how they're secured, but this is more general. It doesn't necessarily have to apply to a data center, but let's go and work our way through inside out. At the core, we have data, so access to business and customer data and encryption to protect data. Then we have application, so applications are secure and free of security vulnerabilities. Then you have compute, so access to VMs, ports, on premises, and cloud. And then network, so limit communication between resources using segmentation and access controls. Then you have perimeter, so distributed denial of service protection to filter large-scale attacks before they can cause a denial of service for users. Identity and access, so controlling access to infrastructure and change controls. And then you have physical security, so limiting access to a data center to only authorized personnel. So the idea is that if you really want to get to the data, you've got to go through all the steps here. These are all the layers of defense. And so I just want to give extra emphasis to identity and access because this one's the most outer one besides the physical security. So they would say something like the modern perimeter is defined based on your identity. Another thing I want to mention is that even though the perimeter layer says it provides distributed denial of service protection to filter large-scale attacks and so on, this is actually a bit misleading. The DDoS protection standard provides multi-layered protection when deployed with a web application firewall. It should protect both at the network layer and at the application layer, emphasizing especially on the network layer. So here's an architecture of DDoS protection standard being used. You can see that it will always be placed in the network layer, so it's applied to the virtual network, subnets, network security groups, and so on. A lot of people get it confused with perimeter layer when it should be the network layer, so that's defense in depth.